We're back!
We're back!
Oh, we are definitely back. Welcome back to even more Ultimate Singapore. In this series of videos, we're going to show you 5 great ways to escape central Singapore and connect with nature. There's a city escape here for every budget. Find the one you like and escape central Singapore. What a great welcome back to Singapore. There's so much to explore at the city within a garden that we knew we had to come back for another week to explore the nature side of Singapore. We have a lot to do. We better get going.
There you go.
So in case you haven't guessed, today we are walking the Southern Ridges Trail. This is a 10-kilometer trail of 4 different connected parks that run across like downtown Singapore. I don't know how they managed to carve out 10 kilometers of trails, but this is the walk that we wanted to do so badly last time and didn't have time for. So it is the very first thing we're doing today. And then after we've worked up an appetite, we're gonna find a hawker center because we sure have missed those.
I love it.
Whoa! Oh! No.
We gotta do this right.
Ready?
3. Success. Strangely, when we visited Singapore last time, we missed the merlion entirely. Something doesn't seem quite right here. Is this it? No.
It's not. It's not. It's definitely not.
No, okay.
But it is one in a park and it's pretty cool. There are these arrows pointing in the directions of things. And it's kind of cool because it's a lot of things we saw last time. Changi Airport, Little India, Botanic Garden, Zoo, and even HortPark Villa. It's a little trip down memory lane. I like it. Oh, look. HortPark Villa ends in Kuala Lumpur. We were just there. The views from up here are already pretty spectacular. We started this hike down from the Harborfront MRT station, and then we took like 15 minutes of stairs to get to the top. You can take a cable car, but we wanted the full hike experience today. So we took all the stairs. We might regret that later, to be honest. Not the views though, they're incredible.
Singapore is a relatively flat and close to sea level country, but on our trail today, there are a lot of stairs.
For the record, we are here at the very end of July. And it is hot and it is humid, and I have had to engage my personal air conditioning. It doesn't do anything.
It's not enough.
Nothing is enough. This is, wow, speechless by how much I'm sweating.
If you hike in Singapore in July, bring lots of water.
Yeah, and go at like 4 in the morning.
And then maybe it's enough.
Maybe.
So far we started here and we are here, and if I look at that, we're about, I don't know, a quarter done?
No. We're going all the way to here.
What?
We are just entering Henderson Waves, which is probably the best known section of the walk that we're doing today. I can't tell you what it looks like because we're just entering. I can tell you the section is very busy. There's a lot of people here. Henderson Waves is actually a bridge that goes over Henderson Road. It also is maybe one of the most unique, the way that it sort of undulates as we are walking up it in the direction that we're going. And set on the side are shelters that you can get a respite from the weather in. So if it's raining out, you have a little bit of cover. If it's super sunny out like today, you've got a little bit of shade. And I think maybe my favorite thing that I've read about this bridge is that it's made from a wood that does not require maintenance and is native to Southeast Asia. It's actually really cool how it's constructed. It's little short pieces of wood instead of really long ones, and then they're sort of bolted or screwed or something that Bill knows that I don't. Screws, bolts, whatever. They're holding the bridge together. They're important. He's busy setting up the drone for a flight. That's why you get me, and I know fewer things about engineering than he does. When we were in Singapore last time, I documented pretty thoroughly this caramel nut smell that I smelled everywhere. And a lot of you try to help me figure out what that was. I'm not positive we got to the end of it. Some mulch was suggested, some leaves were suggested. It could be any of those. Well, here's another one for you. As we're walking across Henderson Waves, I smell a swimming pool. I smell chlorine, like a swimming pool, and what I see around me is green. I do not see a swimming pool. Am I hallucinating? Is there something nearby that would create this smell? Help me solve another one. This is super helpful. We're about to enter the forest walk and we just came from Henderson Waves. I'm expecting that now that we are across Henderson Waves, that we're gonna walk out of the crowds, because there were a lot of people there. For sure, one of the most, or maybe the most popular part of the route that we're on today was Henderson Waves. Unfortunately, the forest and the earth walk trails are closed right now for maintenance. Here's what we mean. Let's just show you on a map. We're around here somewhere and this section is closed where it's red. So we are going to follow this yellow route and rejoin the trail right here.
Drink lots of water on this trip. As Heather said, it's very hot.
Hey, save some for me.
But if you run out, there's water refill stations. And it's a moving target, so you got to really be on the ball.
I got this. Oh, no. Oh.
We're gonna walk as far as we can because I think there are a few sites along the way. This is the Alkaff Mansion and it's one of our brief detours. This is a mansion that dates back over 100 years and some pretty fancy people lived here who hosted other fancy people at a number of parties. And now it just hosts cafes, which I do not think we are dressed for, so we are not going to stop here, sadly. Because we actually could use a little bit of a break. Really pretty building from the outside. Well, we just got to these really cool terraces, which are extra cool now because it has started to rain. We spoke to a couple at the top and they recommended that we seek shelter. Sounds like it might take an hour or two to pass. Shelter's like 20 minutes away. Well, the good news is that it's time for lunch. We're hungry, so I guess we're gonna seek out food earlier than we had planned. I am not really complaining about the rain. It feels very refreshing. Kind of a bummer though, these terraces are beautiful. We didn't really get to film them properly. While it's totally pouring out, we sort of have shelter in these trees, which were holding off the rain.
Adventure.
And it doesn't seem to be working anymore.
It's not enough.
We ended up having to stop under a shelter because it was raining pretty hard. And now it's done, but we have realized that the detour that we have to take because part of the trail is closed brings us within spitting distance of a hawker center and it's lunchtime. So if the stars align, then you got to do what the stars tell you to do. And the stars are telling us, go to a hawker center. I'm so excited. Telok Blangah Hawker Center. Maybe it's close to how it's supposed to be said. We chose this one purely because of its proximity to where we were. We don't know anything about it, but it looks amazing. Let's go see where the biggest lines are. Okay. Hey, Singapore, guess what we learned? All right, I chose one of the longest lines to stand in, even though I feel like I just had this in Malaysia. A very kind auntie came up to me and told me I would not regret ordering this. So I have roasted duck over noodles, and it indeed smells really good. I am quite hungry, and I am ready to dig in. So this is roasted duck with noodles from the longest line I could find in this hawker center. And a kind auntie that told me I won't regret eating it. She was so cute. Oh, the duck is really good. I'm happy to report this is not spicy, but I've really got to get into the noodles to try the sauce. And the sauce is where dishes are either made or broken. So let's see how this compares. It is quite good. The noodles are like a perfect al dente, so they have a bit of a chew to them, which I really like. The sauce is salty without being overly salty, with a really nice soy flavor. I am kind of missing the smoky flavor of the char kway teow that we had on our last night in Malaysia, and I kind of fell in love with that. But this is quite good, and I'm very happy with it. Well, we just had a first. A couple saw us filming, and they stopped by and took out of their bag something that they gave to us. They told us to try whatever doesn't look familiar because everything is fantastic. And this is a tofu custard, which is definitely something not familiar to us. Bill loves yogurt and custard, so he's gonna give this one a try. I can't believe they just dropped it off for us. That was amazing. What a great welcome back to Singapore.
It is warm. The tofu is in maybe what looks like a briny kind of solution. This is definitely something unfamiliar to me. I wouldn't go out of my way to order this. I'll give it a try. Oh, it smells really good. I love it. That's really unexpected and delicious. It doesn't look appetizing to my Western eyes and Western tastes, but it's just a very, very light sweetness, and it does taste exactly like a custard. It's good. Thank you to the anonymous couple of Singaporeans that dropped it off for us. That was very nice of you. Thank you. So I stood in line for a very, very long time, maybe 45 minutes. It was the longest line in the entire hawker center, and I think this is going to be worth it. I got to know a local who was standing in front of me in line. He grew up in this neighborhood, and this is his favorite hawker center. The couple that runs the hawker stall, he knows by name. So he helped me, made some recommendations on what to order. So I'm really looking forward to this. In addition, not only is he a new subscriber to our channel, he bought me lunch. So thank you to Ian. Thank you very much if you're watching this. So although he grew up in this area, he comes back just for this. Let's see if it's any good. It's a little bit spicy and just about the right amount of saltiness. It's not at all like I was expecting. I was expecting more of a strong fish flavor. I think these are fish too, but I'm not really sure. Let's try a fish ball here. Oh yeah, there's the fish flavor. Just a little bit of nice fish flavor, but I mean, it could almost be chicken. It was delicious.
Well, that was a fun lunch experience with a few firsts. The first time that somebody has just bought us lunch after standing in line with one of us, and the first time that a random stranger has just dropped off food on our table telling us to try it.
Free food. I love Singapore.
Now we are heading back to rejoin our trail, and we are very full and moving a lot more slowly. And it's the middle of the afternoon and even hotter than it was before. I think the rain somehow made it hotter. But we are still determined to finish this. We're gonna do it.
Yes.
There's probably only like 6 more kilometers to go.
What?
It turns out that forest walk is at least partially open, so we are joining it partway through. It starts with stairs.
Heather's favorite.
What to do when you encounter otters? Look, it still has not happened yet, Singapore, except in the zoo. We still wait the otters, the spontaneous otters crossing. But wait, we're up here. There's no otters up here. There's a second trail that goes just underneath this one. Somewhere down there, there's an earth trail. But of course, we want the view, so we're up here. Oh, this is so cool. Aside from being unbelievably hot, the forest walk is amazing. We are just above or at the tree canopies, and it's just beautiful to be able to look out over them. And I think because part of the trail is closed, there are far fewer people, So it's us and just a few others up here, which is really neat. Or maybe it's because it's the middle of the afternoon and only dumb tourists come up at this time. I don't know. Let's say that it's because part of the trail is closed. Plus we got to fly the drone. Far fewer people. This is awesome.
And we're crazy.
Okay, like the verdict is out, apparently. I love how this walk is zigzaggy in nature. I don't know if this was done intentionally to work around the trees or if trees had to be moved and it's just zigzaggy for fun, but I like it.
The Singaporeans really know how to do a raised walkway through trees.
And make it scenic and interesting. Love it. Might be kind of hard to see, but there's a stream down there, but there aren't any otters. Yes, I am looking. I think I've decided that it's like a bucket list goal to see otters in the wild. Seen them in the zoo, not in the wild. Not today, at least. Know what else is on our list of favorite things? Bamboo. Bamboo! Right here on our trail. List of favorite things. When you cannot get a type of tree at home and you run into it in the wild when you're traveling, it's incredible. It smells really good here too. I know I talk a lot about how things smell, but isn't that part of the experience when you're traveling or going somewhere new? You not only see things that are new, you taste things that are new, and yes, you even smell things that you haven't smelled before. I didn't really realize that was a thing until we started traveling more broadly a year ago. He likes bamboo. He's stuck back there. We're never gonna make progress. Should call him Bamboo Bill. Look at this bridge. I think we just stumbled across Henderson Waves, like cousin that never gets talked about. This bridge is so cool. Did not know it was here. Love it. I mean, it doesn't have the resting places on it, but it's still really neat. Super picturesque. We have made it to HortPark.
HortPark. One word, HortPark.
And there's Hort Center and Hort House. And Bill wants to know if Horton hears a who is here. I had actually heard that this garden is fantastic and rivals the Botanic Garden.
The strange things tourists do. So what's the story on this?
All over Singapore, the last time that we were here, I smelled this caramel, nutty, toasty smell. And I can't identify the source. And it's happened everywhere in Singapore. It is not the chocolate factory. It's definitely not the chocolate factory. And I smell it right here. Is it this plant that I smell? There's a lot of them. Maybe it's this tree right above me. I tried smelling its bark like a crazy person. It's killing me to not figure out what it is, despite so many people trying. The most common suggestion is that it's pandan leaves. Pandan, pandan. But I found some of those leaves and I tried smelling them and they don't smell like that nutty caramel toasty smell. So I don't know. It's very disappointing. I can't figure out what this is. Is my mystery smell these? It's something right in this area. It's very, very strong. As you can tell, this has baffled me. Baffled me. This is a really neat complex. So far we've discovered bathrooms, a water refill station, a retail shop that I highly recommend, not because I purchased anything, but because it was air conditioned, a cafe, and there's a lawn where there was a wedding taking place, which is kind of amazing luck. I seem to have sweated off all my mosquito bug spray.
We came upon these massive palm trees. They're absolutely huge.
This plant is truly massive. Each leaf is super thick. It is not as thick as aloe vera plants. Not only is it far bigger in size, but also the leaves are just so much thicker. It really is an incredible plant, tree, thing. Wow. So we're walking through here. We're enjoying a number of different themed gardens, including the butterfly garden. This is not the actual size of a butterfly, do not worry. There's a bunch of yellow ones. Stay still. There's also been a therapeutic garden and an edible garden and all sorts of different themes as we're walking along, which is really cool. Wherever I read that this rivals the Singapore Botanic Gardens, I would say it's not quite as impressive, but it's close. Well, we just found out what Canopy Walk means. It means we're gonna go up again, up there. As Bill has said many a time, the Singaporeans do love their raised walkways.
For how high up these trails are, they really do undulate a little bit. This one's going down for a little bit. Now we're gonna go up ahead.
This is not how most people picture Singapore, but look at this. It looks like I'm in a jungle. It's amazing.
It's really nice that a significant portion of this trail that we've been on all day is shaded, because it is very, very hot out in Singapore most days, especially in July. And it's just kind of nice to get a little break.
We are in the final park that we are visiting today. This is Kent Ridge Park, just in case we haven't mentioned that. It's kind of a long haul to the end, but we are going to persist. In case you're wondering, it's about 5:15 p.m. The light is beautiful. It's cooled down just a little bit, like just enough to take the edge off. And we're starting to see more people on the trails again, which is really fun. I love that we spent 8 days exploring so much of Singapore last time, and we are still encountering new things here. Look at all of the cargo containers. I mean, there are hundreds, maybe thousands of them off in the distance. We never had this viewpoint before. Okay, Bill says tens of thousands. I mean, like, it is a lot. We have not worked out enough today.
That's not what I was thinking. Yeah, on the MRT at least here, there are signs that say no durians on board. I get that, they stink. The problem is we stink worse than durians.
Oh God.
And it's a really good thing this isn't
Speak
smell
for yourself.
tube. Okay, I stink worse than a durian probably. Are they gonna let me back on the train?
Well, we made it to the pond, which means that we are almost to the other end of Kent Ridge Park. And it is now that I let you in on a secret that I learned back at the Hort Center when I came across a map that showed where we're walking today. It showed the distances, and it had us starting where we started today, down at sort of the Harborfront MRT, and ending down here at Kent Ridge Park. And would you believe it's not 10 kilometers? It's like 7 and some change.
Lies, lies.
You have to go to Labrador Park to get the full 10K. We wanted to do the 10K today, but we do not have the energy or the time to get to Labrador Park. I feel kind of lied to, I have to say.
Lies.
I am glad that we did this though. So I just checked my smartwatch and it says that we went up 44 flights of stairs today, and we walked almost 9 miles, which is this many kilometers. So I don't know who to believe now, because that's a lot more than 7 kilometers.
Lies.
No wonder we are so tired. I mean, that and the heat. Wow.
Welcome to another beautiful day in Singapore. What are we doing today?
Today we are doing something that so many viewers recommended last time we were here in Singapore that we are super excited about this. We are at Sungei Buloh Wetland Reserve. This is on the very outer section of Singapore, so much so that you can see Malaysia from right across the straits, river, water.
Straits.
There is so much wildlife here. We are expecting to see birds, maybe some crocodile, and I am crossing my fingers for some wild otters. Or maybe not, because maybe they're mean. I don't know.
We love otters.
Either way, we are super excited to be here. We are here in the morning, so hopefully everything is super active. Let's go see what we find. I'm not dumb, I'm gonna leave my stuff here. Made it. According to the map, there are all these observation lookout areas. And I think we might be coming across our first one. And I think we're gonna be able to see all the way across the strait to the other side of Malaysia, which is wild. We were just there. I wondered what these pods would be like. They've made them so they sort of blend in with nature. That way they escape the attention of the natural wildlife. But there's these slats, some are bigger than others, that you can look out for the birds. Of course, we're chasing all the birds away because we're talking, but I'm so excited to show this to you, what they look like. It's just shaped like a giant pod. It was well named. It's a pod. All right, our first pod experience. We did not linger to look for birds in this one because we're just getting started and want to have a little bit of distance between us and the entrance before we stop somewhere and try to find some birds. But first pod in the books. We are headed out to Eagle Point now, which I did see this online, and it looks like it's a viewpoint overlooking not only the water, but over to Johor. Is that how you say it? We haven't been there. But we were just in Malaysia for 3 weeks. As a bonus this morning, the tide is out, so we should be able to see some birds foraging among the mud flats, which I'm very grateful for the low tide right now. It's like the best time to come here. The view here is amazing, and there are a lot of very serious bird photographers out at this first lookout. I mean, serious equipment, huge long lenses on their cameras, and they're looking at birds, not the view. The view is incredible. I mean, the birds are what we're here for, though. One of the bird photographers was just telling us that the largest type of eagle that exists in Singapore hangs out in this reserve, and we saw it off in the distance, but it was kind of too far away for it to make sense on our little zoom camera, but we captured what we could. And we did see it flying briefly, so it was really cool. I'm so glad he pointed it out. I don't think we would have noticed it on our own because it was off in the distance. Bill's still chatting with him. There is a delightful breeze coming off of the water today, and we are not complaining. We do hear thunder in the distance, so we might get rained on again, like yesterday. But it's the rainy season, so we expect it. It's cool. Actually, it really was cool yesterday. That was our favorite part of the weather yesterday, the rain. Very refreshing.
Any otters yet?
No otters yet.
Monkeys?
Nope.
Crocs?
Maybe. Definitely some rain clouds. Oh, it's dark. We are near a wetland center, which we're assuming is going to be covered, and that's where we're headed.
The wetland center is about to get more wet. Oh, there's the building on the left.
It's just started raining, and the wind has picked up a lot. This time we're not going to huddle under an umbrella. We are close enough to shelter that that's where we're headed to wait it out. At least I think it's near here. And Bill's been picking up trash along the trail. There's all these signs, no littering, no littering. Where's the building? Entry to Wetland Center, this way. This way. Okay, I guess I'll wait. Come on. Use this to cover the camera.
Did you see the owl?
What? No.
Owl there?
Stopped to try to film an owl, but I think it moved before I got out my camera. So Bill has the umbrella and I'm just running for it. Shelter.
Made it. Oh, wow.
Tons of bats. No. I keep telling myself, bats are good. Bats eat mosquitoes, they eat other insects. It's pouring out. We enjoyed a snack while trying to wait out the rain. It's still drizzling a little bit, but we have spotted some vending machines that claim that they serve a hot meal. So we're gonna go find out what that's about right now.
Wow.
Even though we spent several weeks in Japan, we never used a vending machine for food while we were there. So this is a first for us. I'm not expecting like a gourmet meal, but we brought our own snacks because we read that there was no cafe on site. Well, now there's Chef in a Box. I'm excited to try this. Maybe more excited than I should be, honestly. Look, there's a little person in there making our meal. All this cooking is going on.
Wait a second, it doesn't look like what we ordered.
Can you imagine there's some tiny chef in there making our snack, our meal? So we have been traveling with an emergency spork. And I do not think we have it today. I also am not confident that there is a pair of chopsticks in this tiny little dish that we just got. I sure hope there are chopsticks in there because, let's see. Oh no.
No chopsticks?
Wait, come here.
Collect your, oh.
A fork and a spoon? I was expecting chopsticks, but hey, cutlery! I don't think that this machine is from Singapore. It gave me a napkin. It does feel kind of silly to test what is basically a microwave meal, but we are gonna see this through. So here goes our beef with rice and some veggies. All right, I'm not gonna wax poetic about this meal, but the fact that I just got served a warm meal from a vending machine in the middle of a nature reserve is pretty incredible. This is not bad, it's very peppery. I wish there was more of the meat and vegetables and a little bit less of the rice, but I would say that's true of all microwave meals. This is not bad, I'm delighted. Well, as you can see, the sun is out again. The rain is gone, leaving behind some wet boardwalks. It was a great opportunity for a snack and a fun lunch. And hopefully there's some animals out now after the rain. We are entering the Mangrove Boardwalk. There's 27 different kinds of mangrove plants that are here, which is a huge amount to be in one mangrove in one place. That's all I got. Well, mangroves are pretty cool and mosquito-y. The water level is now rising as we're into afternoon. And there's some of those, we think they're called mud skippers that we've been watching
Skip around?
skip around in the mud. They are appropriately named. And we are done with the mangrove section. It's on to the Migrating Birds Trail. I'm watching for eyes from a crocodile at the surface. We started today at the visitor center and we walked along the coastal trail, did Eagle Point, and then we ran at the end of the coastal trail. Sat for a while in the Woodland Center, and just now we finished the Mangrove Boardwalk, and now we are going to press on to the final trail, which is the Migratory Bird Trail. I guess instead of looking for otters and crocodiles, now we're looking for birds.
There was a sign back there that said watch out for crocodiles.
So I guess we're still looking for crocodiles, and I'm always looking for otters.
Here's hoping.
We were changing a battery on the camera when all of a sudden Bill said, "What's that?" and points off down the road, and I just pick up my camera, ready to record. I'm glad that he noticed it. I think it was a giant...
Dinosaur.
Okay, yeah, so I have no idea what it was. It was a lizard that looked like it was a dinosaur. It was so slow moving and its tail just sort of swished back and forth. It was really cool. I'm glad that Bill spotted it. I'm glad Bill spotted it. I am still looking for crocodiles, looking for their little eyes. We are about halfway around the Migratory Bird Trail. Haven't seen too many unusual birds yet, but that's not unexpected because right now is not the prime time for them. We also haven't seen any crocodiles or otters, and at this point I'm thinking that the park rangers are punking the tourists. Do they actually exist? Have any of you seen otters or crocodiles here? I'm looking really hard for them. Like, I'm looking for them, scanning both sides, looking so closely, and nothing. Are they really here? This is a really cool viewing platform over what is a mudflat during low tide. And right now it is high tide. There are signs up that tell us that you'll see a lot of birds during low tide because they are foraging for their food in the mudflats. So wrong time of day for us. Can't be everywhere all at once, but it's still a bit of a bummer. We're going to do our walk around and keep looking for crocodiles and otters, but again, the otters are going to have to like jump in front of us to see them.
Might see a monkey. Monkeys?
Maybe? Found a couple of crabs. We are both still tired from 44 flights of stairs yesterday, but it looks like we're gonna have to suck it up because there is a bunch of stairs to take us up on a viewpoint, and we are suckers for an aerial view, so up we go. As is usually the case, the view from up here is fantastic, and we can see some herons and some egrets just right in front of the platform, and you can see pretty far. You can see Malaysia across the straits again. Worth the climb, as it usually is. Cool. We came across a family of monkeys, one of which I might be adopting. And they were just walking alongside us for a while. There was a baby and the baby's mom and some other adults, and it was really cool. They were not super interested in us, which is just the way we like our wild monkeys. You might be coming back with me to the visitor center, I don't know.
You have a new friend. Or he wants your GoPro. Well, hello there. Oh, no, you don't.
So it turns out that the monkey that was walking with us crossed the bridge like halfway and then just sat there. I think maybe it was scouting the bridge for the rest of its family, because not long afterwards, the rest of the family came across the bridge. They have crossed over now and they're at some trees, but the lead one stopped and it posed halfway and everybody stopped and took photos because you can see Johor in the background, and it seemed like it was posing. It was kind of wild. I loved it. That was amazing. Did you know that Singapore has more than just Sentosa Island? Today we are headed to Singapore's southern islands, the islands of Kusu, St. John, and Lazarus. It's looking to be a beautiful day, and it begins with a beautiful ferry ride, and we are the only people on the top deck.
What's up with that? It's a beautiful day. Where is everybody?
It's a wonderful sunny day. We are super excited to head to the beach to relax a little bit and enjoy the ferries back and forth. Goodbye, Singapore! All right, first impressions of St. John's Island is that this looks absolutely amazing. We are on the very first ferry, so it is delightfully uncrowded right now.
It's also on a weekday, which might affect this. We think is probably more busy on the weekends, but right now, there are very few people here. It's very quiet. It's amazing.
It kind of feels so far like we've been dropped off on a deserted island that happens to have some picnic tables. I don't know. It's us and a tour group back there of maybe 15 people, and we haven't seen anyone else besides them yet, which is so cool. I love this. I'm so excited. Looks like we're arriving here at low tide, so I'm kind of curious if we can find some more things running around the water like we saw at the nature reserve yesterday. Well, speaking of giving off deserted island vibes, we came across this fenced-in area that has this building that you can see behind me, maybe toilets? There are sinks here, but there's no water, and there's urinals around the corner, also no water, and the entire thing is fenced in with like barbed wire across the top. A little bit of history about this island. It used to be used, I'm talking like a couple hundred years ago, it used to be used to detain immigrants while they were being quarantined to see if they had any diseases. Then later on, this was used for prisoners of war and I think even criminals. So that could explain the fencing with the barbed wire, but there's no housing here. It's just these small doors that don't open that, again, we think hold showers or bathrooms. So this is kind of a mystery. Deserted vibes for sure. I found one that opens. And used to hold a toilet. That's the answer. So a whole row of toilets, but no housing. How odd. Maybe a better guess is that these were for local tourists, visitors to the island, and then they stopped using them, and then maybe they gated them up, put the barbed wire up, and then locked them, but the doors are open today. So today, we're explorers. Hey, this is future Heather. There were actually political prisoners that were held here, and one of the most famous political prisoners held in St. John's went on to become the 3rd president of Singapore. Back to old Heather. Clearly, this is not being used anymore.
This place looks like it used to be a cafe or a restaurant or something. It's a very nice setting.
Something we did not expect while visiting this island was that we are underneath the flight patterns for Changi Airport, and so there's constantly planes going overhead, including some fighter jets, which is really cool and makes us feel like we're at home because we live underneath a flight pattern for the Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport.
And they were flying in formation, so it looks like maybe they're practicing for the National Day celebration. I'm just guessing.
This time we know what the gates are for. Behind this is a lodge, and you can actually stay here and you can camp here, which is really neat, but we didn't have the right supplies for that, so we did not do that for this trip. Whoa, this is a very exciting wildlife day so far. We have come across not one but 2 giant lizard thingies.
We call them giant.
I mean,
they're not Komodo dragons.
We don't have them in Minnesota, so they're big.
Yeah.
And we just saw an eagle fly, like just across from us, but the only camera that we caught it with was the GoPro, which has such a wide angle that it's just this tiny dot on the screen for you.
Yeah.
Still, it's amazing. Oh man. We are headed to the Marine Aquaculture Center, which is a research center. You can go in and learn more about the islands that are here and hopefully get a little bit of a break with some air conditioning because, yes, it is super hot out again today.
Since we landed here in the island, we haven't felt much like we're in Singapore, but now we feel a little bit more like we're in central Singapore because there's covered walkways, modern buildings, and we're going to go inside the Outreach and Education Center and see what we can learn about this place.
Well, the gallery inside was really interesting. It talks about the history of the islands and a lot about the marine biology that's here. There's also a courtyard out back, which is where we're going to enjoy a snack. But here is one of the most important things that we've learned about the Marine Center. I have read online that there is 0 water stations on the island, but I found one. It's right here. It is just outside of the door that leads to the courtyard where we're about to have a snack. So Bill's gonna refill our water. We brought a lot with us, but know that you can refill your water. So if you're here on a super hot day like us, bring a lot of water and then even refill what you brought because you're gonna need it.
One of the things they can do at this facility here is actually run seawater that they bring in from the strait into all their aquariums, just like some of the ones we have here in this little courtyard. And then it flows back out into the strait, so they're able to have the nice fresh seawater. I guess that's important to their research. Oh, how nice of you. I get half of it?
Nope. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. We got this at the bakery because they had like 3 bins of whatever this is, so it seemed like it was a hot seller. This is an almond donut croissant thing that is filled with an apple paste. And I did not know the apple paste was going to be inside, so it was a delightful surprise. We're also quite hungry. It's delicious.
Like an octopus.
St. John's is primarily used for marine research. Tourism is way further down on the list. In fact, I asked one of the employees do you take one of the ferries that we take to the island? Because I don't think we saw many employees on that ferry. And she let me know that there is a special staff workers boat that runs back and forth for them. Definitely a working island. I think that makes it even more unique to visit.
This whole area is off limits to us and swimmers and everything else. Looks like it's a continuation of the research center. No sign of it?
It's way up there. If you happen to come to St. John's and Lazarus, Friday through Monday, you can rent bicycles to make your way around the islands, or one of those fun scooters. We have pretty heavy bags today, so we're not able to rent them. The most interesting thing that I saw that he had was chilled beverages. And there was Coke and that 100 drink that Bill loves so much.
100 plus.
100.
No, 100 plus.
They had chilled drinks like Coke, water, and 100 plus, which Bill loves so much.
No one. 100 plus. We're told by Singaporeans it is 100 plus, not 100 plus.
We have to try it again. They have Coke, water, and 100 plus that are chilled. Not like cold, he doesn't have a refrigerator, but everything's on ice. And it's much better than that Coke that you've been carrying around in your backpack for 5 hours, which is what I have to look forward to. We are now crossing over to the island of Lazarus from St. John's. They haven't always been connected by the walkway that you see below me. They used to just be their individual islands, but this is pretty handy. From what I've read online, not many people adventure over to Lazarus. There are fewer facilities, fewer toilets. What we hear is fewer people means magic. We'd really like to swim. There's a sign over there that box jellyfish have recently been spotted at Lazarus Beach.
Not good.
And box jellyfish can cause immediate, increasing, and extreme pain. Sometimes it can even kill you. It says that symptoms include increasing pain, increasing severe pain. I really want to go swimming. Worth it? Time for a quick swim. Well, that was really refreshing.
That was great. I think that's the only way to live here.
This sand squeaks.
Oh, cool. I didn't even notice that.
I can't say that I've ever had squeaky sand before. This beach was amazing. The water was warm in some places and cold in others, which puzzled us. But boy, were we grateful for the cold spots that we encountered. It was so refreshing. We spent a little bit longer here than we should have, and in fact, the beach is the only thing we're going to get to see on Lazarus Island, because we still want to make it to the third island, Kusu. So we're heading back to the ferry dock already. What can you do? We got a ferry to catch. A very un-Singaporean thing is happening right now, right this minute. It is 3:19 p.m. and our inter-island ferry to Kusu is 4 minutes late. There's no sign of it. We're pretty sure we're in the right spot. No ferry. It should be just a little boat that goes in between the islands. Something is late in Singapore? I feel like this is a first.
Say it isn't so.
We are shocked. As long as it still comes, we really want to go see Kusu. Just an update on our missing ferry situation. It's 20 minutes late, but thank goodness for What's Up, because we What's Up them and they called us right away and they're sending a boat to get us. So we don't know what happened, but super happy that they're sending a boat to us so we can still visit Kusu. I'm really looking forward to that island.
Yeah, great save. I don't know what happened. They must have left really early because we were here at least 15 minutes early.
For once, it's unusual for us. Usually we're running, but for ferries, we know it's a big deal if you miss it. So we are very early today. Thank you.
Have a good day.
We made it to Kusu. That was amazing that they sent a boat for us. I could not be happier. And we're here.
Hey.
This island already has a completely different feel than St. John's and Lazarus. The ferry terminal opens up to this pavilion area, and all I see are picnic tables and the floor is tiled, and there's a temple here. And I know that there's some turtles. That's why I'm excited. All right, we have just over an hour on this island, and I see very few other people here, which is really cool. But we're starting at the far end of the island at the bathrooms.
There are bathrooms. This is amazing.
There's even showers on this island, which is even more amazing. And a lot of solar panels. All right, we are walking to the far end of Kusu Island so that we can see what the tip of it is like. Lazarus, we really only saw the beach, but this island is much smaller and we should be able to see it from one end to the other. This is kind of unexpected. I was wondering where the path would lead, and I was expecting it to go to the end of the island, and it just singles out a picnic shelter. There's so many picnic shelters. How did they choose this one?
It's a nice picnic shelter and a picnic table. I don't know if it's the best one.
As we're exploring the tip here, funny thing, there's an island off in the distance. Yep, that's Lazarus, that's where we were, and I'm pretty sure we could have swam across to this island if we had had a bigger dry bag with us. Just across the channel, just on the other side. I knew they were close, I did not know they were that close. Alright, we had to come and examine the water situation to see if we really could swim across it. And the current is extremely strong here, so we might have started here, but we would have ended up like way down there. I think we would have made it. Good news, we don't have to find out. If you come to these islands, know that you need to bring all of your own food for the day, and ideally all of your own water, just to make sure that you have it available to you. 1 month a year here on Kusu, the market stalls that I'm surrounded by erupt into a hawker center. There's an annual pilgrimage that takes place, not right now, and then all of these stalls come alive. It's kind of neat to see them empty with the promise of food 1 month a year. I kind of want to come to experience it, I have to say. And if you happen to come during that 1 month pilgrimage that takes place, know that there are extra ferries that run. That way you won't possibly end up stranded on another island like us. Also, some monkeys just passed through here, so this island definitely has monkeys. Not sure how many, it was 2, they seemed older, bigger. They might be after Bill. Yep, Bill has discovered them.
Well, it wouldn't be an outing in Singapore without seeing some wild monkeys.
There is a tortoise sanctuary on this island, and it is one of the things I wanted to see the most. And there are so many of them down there, and there's some little baby ones, and some of them are really large, so I assume that they're older, and there's little shelters that they can go into.
There are a ton of really happy turtles here. There are just dozens and dozens of these turtles enjoying their little spot on the island.
I'm very happy that they have a place that they can go if they want to get away from the sun or the people. There's so many of them. I wonder if they get along with the monkeys. is a really cool looking temple, and it has an awesome entrance with a beautiful white and red bridge. It is so cool to see all of the ships coming and going from Singapore as we've been exploring all of these islands today. I don't know which I prefer, all of the boats coming and going or all of the planes overhead. Both are really neat.
One thing we forgot to mention is both the swimming beaches, the one swimming beach at least, at the other end of the island that we saw first, would be a great place for kids or maybe somebody who's not a very strong swimmer. It's almost entirely enclosed by a breakwater, and so the water is really calm.
We don't have time to go swimming because we don't want to miss our ferry. It's our last chance out of here.
We already did that once today, sort of.
We didn't miss it. We were 15 minutes early. There's no way we missed it. Well, we are here 15 minutes early, and so was our ferry. We are getting on it because we were making darn sure we don't miss it. I think that Singapore is keeping hotels and cafes off of these islands intentionally. If they were here, even more people would come to these islands. So I'm kind of torn. It would be super nice to have a cafe and a nice hotel and stay here overnight, but I'm also kind of happy that it's not here. A little bit torn. You might be wondering if you should visit these islands if you come to Singapore. And the answer is no, you definitely should not.
Why the hell not? We had a great time. Why wouldn't we want people to come here?
Because people wreck things. I like the beaches pristine, so no, you should not come here.
But you should anyway to enjoy it. It's a short distance from Singapore. It's not expensive to get here. It's peaceful, it's quiet. What, you're worried about social media causing all these problems or what?
Yes.
Well, I guess we're part of the problem, aren't we then?
And look at what we stumbled across.
Whoa!
Welcome back to another beautiful day in Singapore. We are exploring another one of Singapore's islands that is not Sentosa today.
And our question is, how far away from the hustle and bustle of Singapore can you get in only a 15-minute boat ride?
We think the answer is here in Pulau Ubin. We have a loose plan for today. We're going to start by exploring the main village, eating some lunch while we're still here. Then we're going to pick up a bicycle and bike along the sensory trail before we head to the tip that's sort of closest to Changi Airport. I'm really excited to see what the village is like. I heard that it's a very traditional way of life, and I'm excited to see it. I had read online that the main village was small. And that's no joke. You can walk around it in about 5 minutes.
And if you need to get beyond that, it seems like bicycles are the primary mode of transportation. There are cars here, just not very many. Most people seem to be biking by.
That's why we're renting them later.
Yeah.
Well, we have found a cafe that's opened, and when we were here a year ago, everybody said to us, you have to try the chili crab. So that's happening today. One of us is more excited about it than the other one because I don't do well with spice, but we're gonna try it.
Spicy food is amazing. I don't know what her problem is.
And we have an amazing setting overlooking the water. I'm really excited about this and super excited to try the crab, even though I think it's gonna knock my socks off.
I hope it does.
I ordered something at the Singapore Zoo of all places. I was told that it was common, but I've been looking for it all over Singapore, and I found it on the menu here, I think. It's this amazing noodle dish with this delicious egg gravy. The chicken is a ground chicken. There's some spring onions. It looks like there's some spinach in here, some onions, something flat that I have no idea what it is. It could be a potato, I'm not really sure. I absolutely love this dish. I think it's delicious. I love it. Now we need to try the main event, the chili crab.
You can grab the arms,
Okay.
the arms and the pincer.
Okay.
Then the bodies, you just normally, I would just squeeze it, then I would just
Squeeze it.
Yeah, squeeze it, then you suck it. There's the meat inside. You can see that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I know that it will do that because there's a
Yeah.
couple spines there.
There you go, and then crack it up and down the leg.
I hear it cracking. I don't know if I'm making any progress.
Unfortunately, the audio failed during the chili crab main event. What we can tell you is that even Bill said, the sauce is really spicy, which meant I once again tried to react to spice like a normal person, which I totally succeeded at. The crab meat itself was absolutely delicious and slightly sweet, and we'll just have to try it again next time.
Well, that was really great. Got to try chili crab, and Heather got that dish that she's been looking all over for.
What was really amazing was what happened after we were done eating. Our neighbors were eating some fresh, very local durian. We're just gonna show you how that went. Our kind neighbors have given us some durian to try, so first time trying durian.
I'm sure this will go well.
All right. This is a good one, right?
Yes! You see, we finished everything.
Yeah. Try a little bit of the flesh.
Is the flesh to the outside?
Yes. It's a little sweet, a little
It's like onion custard. Go for it.
Onion custard.
It's something that
Nice.
you on a
She's not
holiday.
cooking it.
I think she doesn't really like
She hasn't
it.
cooked it.
No, save it.
That is actually not bad.
Whoa! Aren't you surprised?
I am shocked. I mean, the aftertaste is lingering, but it tastes better than I thought it would. Really? Yeah, we had stinky tofu in Taiwan a few months ago.
What did you say?
It was not great. But durian now doesn't smell bad because stinky tofu.
It's much, much, much worse.
Yeah, but this is not as bad as I expected it to be.
Now she's
I'm
enjoying it.
gonna-
Oh, she's going for seconds.
Wow!
She's going for seconds.
Isn't it his turn now?
I can taste the fruitiness of it.
Yay!
I'm shocked. It's your turn now. I'm shocked. You have to try.
I'm not getting out of this.
No.
It smells like durian. So just a little bit of the outside. Okay.
That was a good bite.
But it gets better.
Let's hope.
It's not as
It's
bad.
not okay.
Don't speak too soon.
So the initial flavor was about like it smells, which is not great. But then a nice flavor takes over. I don't know how to describe it. It's just
It
a nice,
tastes like juicy fruit gum to me,
a little bit, yeah.
except mixed with stinky socks.
That's the smell to us. Yeah, a little bit like jackfruit, which is like that.
yes,
yeah.
yes.
A little bit, yeah.
It's good. I'm going to finish it off. Heather doesn't want it. She's already taken her glove off. I'm going to finish it off.
Love free.
Well done.
It's good.
Oh my gosh, I'm shocked.
Oh,
This is so shocking. Shocking development.
oh No, thank you very much.
Oh my gosh.
That was actually really great. I wasn't expecting that to be good. And what is it with Singaporeans? They just keep giving us food. It's
Yeah.
so nice.
It has been the strangest week. That has been happening to us all week, and we do not remember that happening when we were here a year ago. It's just been incredible hospitality by everybody that we run into. Absolutely incredible. Everybody's so nice. Now we are off to find a bike to rent. We're hoping to find a tandem because I don't want to pedal today. This is the 4th bicycle shop that we've seen already that's open today. There is no shortage of bicycles on this island. There's a bit of construction noise where we are renting our bike from, but we found a tandem. So this is happening. We have rented bikes pretty much all over Europe and in parts of Asia. We've never rented a tandem bike together. Am I able to be a backseat driver on a bicycle? What's the etiquette for this? Great. We have to pedal at the same time. Based on our initial little circle that we just made, this is going to be an interesting afternoon. And we are on our way. We got a tandem bike so that we can film while we're biking. When you each have your own bike, it's really difficult. But this is difficult too. We have to pedal at the same time. And our legs. I have no idea when he's stopping or starting.
Where am I going?
To the right. Go to the right. We might have chosen poorly today. Also, I can't really see anything. Down in front. So far, this is a very interesting and slightly difficult experience. As the person in back, because we're pedaling at the same time, all of a sudden I'll be pedaling along, and all of a sudden he just stops pedaling. Whee! And I have no warning. It's a little difficult, but the bicycle lane is beautiful. We're surrounded by trees and plants, and well, these might be lotus flowers, but it looks like it's after they're all done blooming, which is a bummer because look at how many there are. There are tons. The setting here is beautiful, surrounded by palm trees that are swaying in the wind today, which is a nice wind, and we are not complaining. It feels amazing. This pond is the final stop on the sensory trail before we join one of the roads. And the road is really narrow, so we have to keep an eye out for trucks. Here's our fine piece of machinery for today. Note, the front person has all of the power. The back person has a handlebar that wiggles and no power, except what she uses with her legs. Note how when his seat moves, so do my handlebars. No, too short, way too short.
Probably about right there. Okay.
This fine specimen of a bike cost us 20 Singapore dollars for the day. We did rent it after lunch, so in fairness, it's like a half a day price probably. So don't forget we're sharing this with trucks. We just passed the Ubin fruit orchard, which is possibly the source of our super fresh Singaporean durian that we tried after lunch. Also, the lowest gear on this bike is not enough for the hill that we just went up. I was told no hills. Lies. Cold drinks sold here. A Singaporean told us at lunch that some of these roads are believed to be haunted because there are bicyclists who, while biking, mysteriously fall even when there's no obstacles around. So he warned us to be very careful. I don't know whether we went the right way. Okay. We are in the middle of the forest on our path and randomly came across this sign with an identical one about 20 feet that way. Stay on track. Stay on track toward Main Village. Bicycles that way. And then there's a sign facing the opposite way of where we came from to the Chek Jawa Wetlands, which is where we're headed. It's not facing the way we came from. So the signs here are a little bit confusing, but I think we're gonna go this way since it doesn't have a no bicycling sign. I know that was a double negative, but it seems like you can cycle there. Well, we were cycling along and I saw a bunch of people stopped at the side of the road, and I thought it was because of this super cool tree. Look how tall it is. But no, there were a bunch of monkeys in the road.
We have no idea what's going on. The 3 or so monkeys that were on the road have decided that they want in on whatever that is that's going on. I've never heard anything like that. But then again, we didn't have monkeys at home.
They sort of all ran away when we got here, so we're here looking at the cool tree.
Just for a bit of scale, that's Heather standing over there, a little bit behind the tree. But this tree is absolutely massive. We actually can't even see the top.
This is the first time we've seen a sign for what to do when you encounter wild boars. Well, this was our bicycling goal. I'm not sure how to say it. Chek Jawa Wetlands? Chek Jawa Wetlands. Was that thunder? It's blue skies. Singapore's weather is so weird. They have a really nice bicycle parking area, which is where we abruptly braked when we first got here. Not a graceful stop.
We've had a little challenge coordinating on these kinds of things. Oops.
You can have a ton of bicycles. There's space for maybe 50 bicycles. Busy times must be really busy. Today there's only maybe 10 bikes here.
She always looks great before and after she fluffs. I don't know why she fluffs all the time.
I fluffed off camera. So down at this wetland reserve, similar to what we've seen in other wetland reserves, there is a boardwalk that goes over the water, and there's also one through the mangroves here. I think we have time for both of them, but we'll see. We're heading down to the coast now.
At the start of the video, we asked the question, how far away from the hustle and bustle of Singapore can you get in 15 minutes on a boat? You can get into nature, that's for sure. But we are within sight of Cheng's airport. And we're just enjoying watching a couple airplanes land. So the answer is both far away and not so far.
And while Bill is staring at airplanes, I'm looking at this tree that's behind me, which is a nutmeg tree. It's a specific kind of nutmeg that's actually endangered in Singapore but grows all over Pulau Ubin. So this is a perfect place to see it. And there's berries all over the place for the nutmeg. Is that what they're called? Nutmeg berries? Nutmeg pods? Fruits. Nutmeg fruits? Anyhow, they're all over. It's really cool. Some are red, green, yellow. They're beautiful. Speaking of beautiful, this boardwalk is really spectacular. Oh, we spotted another eagle circling high above us. I can't tell you how frustrating it is to see them when they're close to us and then get the camera out there and they're like so far away you can hardly see those little dots circling in the background. But we saw an eagle. This is, I think, the third place that we've spotted an eagle in Singapore, which is just unexpected. I love it. We actually have quite a few eagles back in Minnesota. And it just sort of is this little nod or taste from home. Every time we see one, it makes me think of Minnesota, which is really cool. It is the middle of the afternoon. It is high tide right now. So if seeing things in the mud when you come here, if being able to see a lot of the, I don't know, the things that are in the mud. If that's important to you, you might want to check the tides before you visit Pulau Ubin, because right now it's just us in the water, which is very pleasant. But if you're expecting to see crabs and other creepy crawly things.
Creepy crawly things like I had for lunch?
Yes, like that.
Oh,
if you want to
okay.
see those, don't come during high tide.
I'd rather see them on my lunch plate, I think.
Well, yeah, wouldn't we all?
Yeah.
We finally got close enough that I could capture it better. It's not an eagle. It's a seagull. Spectacular seagull landing on the top of a sign. That's what I caught. On that great disappointment, I return you to the boardwalk. Alright, we are going to go through the mangrove section, and we are not going to talk the entire time because we're hoping that we can film some birds. So this next section is going to be a little bit quieter than we normally are. I mean, you're welcome. I don't know if wildlife is elusive or if we're just really bad at spotting things. We certainly heard birds calling to each other in the distance. We heard the sound of mangrove fronds, leaves hitting each other. And we are hearing a lot of cicadas now at the end. So it was definitely an audio delight, but we just weren't able to find any of the birds. I think the closest we got was a butterfly that Bill got. We're just walking to see a jetty before we leave this area and bike back to the main village. And look at what we stumbled across. We went looking for a jetty and ended up in England. We took a wrong turn somewhere. I knew I should have been the one driving the bicycle.
Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. Heard it said that this is the last fireplace in all of Singapore. I have no idea if there's any truth to that, but it is no longer used.
This house is absolutely stunning. It has been carefully restored. It is not quite 100 years old, and it is just beautiful. The stonework on the outside, the woodwork on the inside, the tiles, just beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
To the jetty.
Look at this house, it's beautiful. This has been a fantastic stop. I'm glad that this is the place we decided to bike to on Pulau Ubin. Also, I just want to note, unlike stinky tofu, durian has a pleasant flavor when you burp it hours later. Stinky tofu, can't say the same. This is an outhouse within an outhouse. This is the original outhouse for the building that we were just in, and it's been modernized and covered to protect it from the elements. I love that they retain that. Super cool. We are headed back into town. It is said that this island is reminiscent of Singapore in the 1960s. So much so that the houses are not connected to Singapore's electrical grid. Instead, they're all run on generators, which is kind of mind-blowing. Another old-timey thing about Pulau Ubin that you need to know, especially if you're coming here, is that the ferries do not run on a schedule. The ferry operators, also called bumboat operators or bumboats, wait until their bumboat is full. 12 people is what it takes, and 4 Singapore dollars per person. Once the boat is full, then they'll take off, and you're on your way either back to mainland Singapore or over here to Pulau Ubin. The bad news about this is that they wait until the boat is full. So if you wait too long at the end of the day, then you have to pay for the entire boat yourself. So we're trying to give ourselves plenty of time to catch a boat that has multiple people in it. Otherwise, we'll have to pay for the entire thing ourselves. That's why we're headed back. And those are also things you need to know if you want to visit Pulau Ubin.
Little bump up a hill.
On really big hills, I get off and walk and Bill bikes up it.
Want to ride?
We successfully made it by the monkeys. Decided that just keeping moving and not filming them was probably the right thing to do today. Back in town now. I think going out had more uphill and coming back had more downhill. Well, as we were going through town, we kind of were paying attention to whether shops were closing or staying open, and it looked like a number of them were closing, and we've seen some workers head to the ferries, so we're guessing that means that most of the tourists have left. This is a banner promoting Taiwan tourism. It's from 2014. We just went in 2023 and it was amazing. We don't know if we're persons number 1 and 2 to wait for a boat, if we're lucky numbers 11 and 12. Remember, the boats won't leave until there's 12 people or until everybody's paid enough for 12 people.
Really unlucky would be number 12 and 13. Because the boats only hold 12 people.
By Singapore law, they actually hold more people, but the bumboat operators are only able to have 12.
It seems the bumboats are the official name. Didn't really expect that.
We only waited about 10 minutes. We have 12 people. Time to head back. A video about Singapore city escapes would not be complete without including Singapore's Botanic Gardens. When we were here a year ago, we were flooded with comments about how we missed out when we cheaped out and didn't pay to go inside of the Orchid Garden.
It's another 15 Singapore dollars. There were plenty of orchids outside that were just beautiful. Didn't feel the need, I guess.
We are here at the Orchid Garden and we are interested in finding out whether everybody was right and we were wrong, or whether we were wrong to fix it. So we are gonna pay to go in and see if it's worth it. I don't know, judging by the outside, I'm guessing that our viewers are right. These are beautiful orchids, again, on the outside of the center.
Thank you.
All right, we're in. I have to admit, this is already not what I expected. I expected like a covered garden center with only orchids. There's trees and shrubs and waterfalls right as we walk in. So already it's not what I expected. You guys, this place is massive. I just found a map and it looks huge. Oh my gosh. We thought this was a few greenhouses where we'd be able to look at a few orchids, and I mean like a few, like maybe at like 100 or 200. No, this place is a whole nother section of the Botanic Gardens. I had no idea. I think we might have been wrong to skip this the first time.
This here says this is a cool house. This could be amazing.
Oh my gosh. Our lenses are all gonna fog up again. I can't even believe these are here. These are carnivorous plants, and I had never seen them before until we went to Malaysia a few weeks ago, and I saw them there, and now they're here twice in one trip, never before this trip. It is really cool to see them here. there's a misting taking place, like at Cloud Forest.
My lenses are about as fogged up as my glasses. You like that?
That's nice. Oh, the cool house was amazing. There were so many different varieties of orchids in there. Little tiny ones, big ones. It's the size of my hand. Tiger tails. The carnivorous plants. Not only was it beautiful, but it was refreshingly cold, which we are appreciating.
There were tons of varieties. I didn't even know there were so many varieties of orchids. And actually the orchids out here might be as good, but I can't see anything because my glasses are fogged.
In 10 minutes, we'll resume filming.
Yeah.
We have found the VIP Orchid Garden. We had a number of viewers when we were here a year ago tell us that there was an Obama orchid back here. So we are on the hunt looking for Obama in Singapore. And we learned that there was a Margaret Thatcher orchid and a Kate William or a William Kate orchid and a Joe and Jill Biden from when he was a vice president, not a president. And they've all visited their orchids, which is really cool. But we're hunting for Obama. And whatever else surprises we might find along the way. Oh man, a Princess Di orchid, and it's blooming right now. A white orchid for Princess Di somehow just seems appropriate. Here is the Biden orchid. It's a deep purple. I quite like it actually. Maybe he's found Obama. Hey, he did find Obama. I was right. Oh, it's so pretty. I didn't know he was actually in front of the Obama one, but it's beautiful. It's white and like a mustard yellow and a light purple. And apparently it even has a great smell.
I haven't known orchids to normally smell a certain way, but it seems to smell nice.
All right, viewers, we found Obama right here in Singapore. He looks better than I expected.
Normally our presidents age a lot while they're in office. It looks young.
You're beautiful, Obama orchid. The VIP orchid area was really cool. It was like a who's who throughout time of important political dignitaries all around the world. It was a lot of fun to see their orchids. Some were blooming, some weren't. We still have to find the celebrity orchid section.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I think that's what we're gonna try to find next. We found the celebrity orchid area. Part of it is closed. Well, in the area that we have access to, there's a nice array of different kinds of celebrities that are here. There is a sports figure, there are actors, there's a fashion designer, there's local celebrities. There you have it, 5 ways for any budget to escape central Singapore and reconnect with nature. Did you find one you like? What did we miss? Tell us down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.